We just pulled off the biggest order in local laundry history. Over 7,000 of these Rocky Mountaineer Canadian-made hats. The crazy part is that we sold more hats in that one order than we had the previous 8 years combined. So today I'm taking you behind the scenes and showing you how exactly we pulled it off. Let's go. This wasn't just any order. We had to make over 7,000 Canadian-made hats for the Rocky Mountaineer. Everyone knows the Rocky Mountaineer. It's one of the great luxury trains in the whole entire world. People save up their entire lives just to ride this train. And we had a really strict deadline because they needed it before their season starts so that it could be on the train for people to buy. I'll be honest, I didn't think much at first when they reached out. They reached out just trying to get some general information, and this was over the course of a couple of months. They kind of just said, hey, we're looking for Canadian made, we're looking to possibly do some merch, and I just kind of, yep, no problem, this is what we do, the regular spiel. And then it wasn't until a couple months later, I kind of checked in, see how things were going, and they said they still needed Canadian made hats. We said, great, how many? I said 7,000. To put it in perspective, we sell a ton of hats, and we have over the years, but 7,000 hats in one order, that's more hats than we've ever sold in all the years we've been in business combined in one order. With a big order like this comes with big challenges. We had to manage production, work with our manufacturer to source the material, and hit a hard deadline, all while making sure the quality is perfect. A lot of big orders like this can actually sink a small business. One of the big things you have to do if you get a big order like this is make sure to get, if not the full payment upfront, or at least a deposit, because you don't want to be left behind. A big company makes a big order like this and you put all this money into production, management, time, resources, energy, and then something happens where they don't take the order or they don't pay, it can really sink a business. We said, absolutely, we can make you 7,000 hats. We'd love to do it, all made in Canada, but we need a 50% deposit up front in order to get in production to help cover any of the costs and make sure that our butts would be covered. What got us through this order was three things. The first thing, you need to over-communicate. Over-communicate. Send messages and updates every day at least. We set up a cadence where we're updating them every single week. Hey, the hats are in this stage of production, they're gonna be out at this stage, they're gonna be ready by this date, blah, blah. Keep them in tune with what's going on in production every single step of the way. With big orders like this, you cannot over communicate. If you feel like you're bugging them, great, because there's nothing worse than a client who spent a lot of money on a big order with a lot riding on it that they don't know where the heck it's at. So over communicate. The second thing you gotta have is clear processes in place, especially with your team. Who's in charge of what? Who's gonna be taking care of this part of production, of this stage? Setting those clear processes, getting them down in writing, creating that playbook. What happens if this person goes on vacation? Who's gonna take care of this? Who's gonna do this? Set those processes early, make them clear, write them down, make sure everyone agrees what their job is, who's doing what, and when they're gonna do it. Third is under promise, over deliver. If your manufacturer or your production team give you a date for when a piece is gonna be done or what stage of production is gonna be done, add on at least 3 business days. What that does is that's gonna give you some wiggle room. If something goes wrong, we don't meet that deadline, then it gives us some wiggle room, we'll be okay. But if you set the date right when it's gonna be done and you tell a client that's when it's gonna be done, and if anything goes wrong, now you're late. The other half of that is that over deliver. So if you say it's gonna be done on the 3rd and it ends up right on time, on your time, and it ends up on the 1st, being done on the 1st, you've over delivered, you got the project done early. It makes you look good. Under promise, over deliver. The opposite of that, what you don't want is over promise, say everything's gonna be fine, we can do this, and then under deliver, underwhelming. It does not create a good experience. This order changed everything for us because it was a ton of cash that we could invest in the business. We grew our team, we invested in processes, invested in technology. It helped us out a ton. The only reason we got this order was because there's very few people actually manufacturing hats in Canada. So when a company is looking for something specifically like made in Canada hats, they come to us because they see our videos, they see our content, they see our SEO. So if you're a business, do something that no one else is doing. If everyone's making hats overseas and anyone can get hats for super cheap, it's gonna be a really tough time competing with everyone else. But if only a few people are doing something like Canadian made hats, it's gonna be a lot easier. This order taught us one thing, that no matter how big the challenge, if you have clear communication, clear process, and you under promise and over deliver, you can take on any opportunity and you can tackle any obstacle. What seemed impossible became our biggest success. Another key lesson that we learned is that sometimes bigger orders don't have to be more complicated than smaller orders. Sometimes it takes just as much work as it does to sell 100 hats as it does 7,000 hats. So don't be scared of large orders because they can make your business, but if you're not careful, they can break your business as well. Thankfully, this one turned out for the better and it's allowed us to go after bigger and bigger and even bigger opportunities. So next time you're on the Canadian Rocky Mountaineer or you know anyone who's going on the Canadian Rocky Mountaineer, tell them to pick up one of our local laundry Canadian made hats as they're going through the Rockies themselves. Big thank you to Rocky Mountaineer for supporting us, supporting our mission, supporting Canadian made, and a big thank you to you for watching this and for supporting us as well. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Check us out on our next video where we tackle another challenge. If you have any questions, comments, rude remarks, let me know in the comments. Bye for now.